Honorable Minister Efremi Wasu, the Minister for Ethiopia Affairs, the board chairpersons, members and representatives of organizations under the Commission, the chairpersons of special administrators from municipal councils, the permanent secretaries in attendance, senior officials, ladies and gentlemen. Burbinaka, namaste, and a very good morning to you all. It gives me a great pleasure to be here this morning to address you in this first seminar organized by the Higher Salaries Commission. I also take this time to convey the apologies of the Honorable Prime Minister and Line Minister for the Commission, who is currently in Australia on official business. As you may be aware, the Higher Salaries Commission was re-established under the Higher Salaries Commission Act 2023, following the removal of its 1983 Act in 2011. The Commission's role is to independently determine the salaries of key executives in public sector organizations and local government. This seminar is particularly important to enlighten all those present here today on the role of the Commission, as detailed under the Higher Salaries Commission Act of 2023, and the prerequisites for making remuneration submissions to the Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, we all recognize the significant impact adequate salaries have on employers' moral productivity and ultimately the success of our organizations. At the same time, however, we also should be mindful of our collective efforts. Collective efforts as state-owned enterprises in ensuring that the executive remuneration ultimately translates to value creation and tangible economic growth. As a state entity of government, the onus is on all of you to make sure that the state entities that you govern must be profitable. And that is the objective of government. You want to ensure that if you govern a state entity, make sure that it is not profitable. At the end of our term, we want to see and evaluate what is the effectiveness of these institutions. Because, the public, they require the return. I was quite amazed that one state entity, when they are able not to make changes accordingly. And I think one of the things that we have to change is most of the processes. It comes back to the minister. But I think there has to be the legislation where you can make adequate the changes at your levels, where you can simple things where you can make the changes at your level without requiring the minister to have a say. Simple letters which always comes up to the Prime Minister, and I thought, this is just a waste of time. Why the chairman cannot make those special decisions? In one of the organizations, they wrote to the Prime Minister to endorse that Fiji becomes a membership of a standing committee in Asia and the Pacific. I don't think there is a need for those sort of things. But in the law, whatever the process, it says that all those things has to come to the Prime Minister, which I don't think it's it's right. So when it came to me, I just sent a letter and I sent it. There's no need for the Prime Minister to have a say in those sort of things. So these are the process, and I think it's quite important also for you to identify what are other problems that is affecting the organization, so that the government can try to adequately address some of things. We can't be continuing in the same thing that was done 16 years ago. Business as usual. No, we have to change. And one of the things that we they've realized that, that changes have to come from you. When you see a problem, you make those recommendations to the minister responsible so that, the changes can be made accordingly. And one of the things that I want to stress, make sure that you use local talent. There's so many people here, but sometimes we all say that we don't have we have the capacity. But make sure you use local talent, because we are training local people. They have to be empowered so that they can take leadership roles in the years ahead. If you train overseas people, with due respect, they've got experience and so forth, but you're not adequately empowering our local people, and that's what we want to see. As chairpersons and key officials in your respective entities, the determination of remuneration demands a balance between the need to attract and retain the required skills with what the organization can afford and sustain. Key expectations include pay levels are competitive, promoting transparency and accountability in recruitment and salary structures, and fostering a performance-based culture with proper monitoring and reward systems. Ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that collaboration is a key to achieving our goals. The presentations and discussions this morning should help clarify the determination process by the higher salaries commission and the submission requirements from the entities that you represent. I hope that today's discussions will foster a spirit of cooperation leading to meaningful recommendations for the higher salaries commission and a clear understanding of the roles and functions and the powers of the commission under the Higher Salaries Commission Act of 2023. I encourage you to actively participate in the discussions and share your insights. Your perspectives are invaluable as you work towards creating a more equitable and rewarding remuneration, a landscape that is inclusive of government priorities for economic growth. In closing, I want to express my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to address you today and for your commitment to this important seminar organized by the Higher Salaries Commission. Let us make this a successful seminar with very positive outcomes. And then,